Welcome to Global Buzz, where we discuss the latest global developments. In this video, we will be covering the situation in Ecuador, where a series of violent attacks by criminal gangs have plunged the country into chaos and bloodshed. Ecuador is a small South American nation with a population of about 17 million people. It is known for its rich biodiversity, cultural diversity, and natural beauty. However, in recent years, it has also become a hotspot for drug trafficking, organized crime, and corruption. According to the United Nations, Ecuador is one of the main transit countries for cocaine produced in Colombia and Peru, destined for the United States and Europe. Among these organizations, the most powerful and violent is Los Caneros, a gang that operates mainly in the coastal province of Guayas and its capital, Guayaquil, the largest city in Ecuador. Los Caneros emerged in the early 2000s as a group of street thugs and petty criminals, but soon expanded their activities to extortion, kidnapping, murder, and drug trafficking, forming alliances with Mexican cartels such as the Sinaloa and Jalisco New Generation. The leader of Los Caneros is Jose Adolfo Macias, also known as Fido, a 44-year-old man who has been in prison since 2011, serving a 34-year sentence for multiple crimes. Despite being behind bars, Fido has maintained his control over the gang, using cell phones and corrupt prison guards to communicate with his lieutenants and order attacks on his rivals and enemies. The situation in Ecuador escalated on Sunday, January 7, 2024, when Fido mysteriously disappeared from his cell during a transfer to a maximum security prison in Guayaquil. The authorities suspect that he escaped with the help of some prison officials who have been arrested and are under investigation. Fido's whereabouts are still unknown, but some sources claim that he has fled the country or is hiding in a safe house. Fido's escape triggered a series of violent actions by Los Caneros and other gangs, who saw an opportunity to challenge the government and assert their power. On Monday, January 8, President Daniel Noboa, who took office in October 2023 with a promise to fight crime and corruption, declared a 60-day state of emergency, giving the military and the police more powers to intervene in the prisons and the streets. He also imposed a curfew from 11 p.m. to 5 a.m. and designated 20 drug trafficking gangs as terrorist groups, authorizing the use of force to neutralize them.
Ecuadorians are living in a time when they are punished by drug trafficking, assassination, and a criminal organization that rules Bangalore. The government does what it can to move the prison population out of the country, but the result is a violent confrontation. That's why the government has taken actions that don't allow them to regain control of the centers of deprivation of freedom that they have lost in recent years. In response to this, the narco-terrorist group tries to intimidate us and make us think that they have demands. We have clear and precise positions for the military and police commanders to intervene and control the prisons. We also support the decree of exception to apply the force of law with all the political backing. We also fight back against the illegal instructions. We show a sign that things have to change in the country and that we have enough resources to live in peace and not give in to political opportunists. Acosta, a security and penitentiary crisis. We are not going to negotiate the peace of all Ecuadorians.
However, these measures did not deter the gangs, who responded with more violence and terror. On Monday night, several prisons across the country witnessed riots and hostage-taking, as inmates armed with guns, knives, and explosives seized dozens of guards and demanded the release of their leaders. Some of the hostages were forced to read messages on video, threatening the president and the public with more attacks and killings. On Tuesday, January 9th, the violence spread to the streets as armed men kidnapped 4 police officers in different cities and planted bombs in public buildings and vehicles. The most shocking incident occurred in Guayaquil, where a group of masked men stormed into the studio of a public television channel, TC Television, during a live broadcast. The men, carrying rifles and grenades, forced the crew and the journalists to the ground and shouted that they had bombs. They also said that they were on air to show that you can't mess with the mafia. The live broadcast continued for about 15 minutes until the police arrived and arrested 13 of the assailants. No one was killed in the attack, but some people were injured. The unprecedented level of violence and chaos in Ecuador has raised many questions and concerns, both nationally and internationally. Some of the main issues are: who is behind the attacks? While Los Caneros are the main suspects, there are indications that other gangs, such as Los Lobos, Los Lagartos, and Los Pipos, are also involved, either as allies or as rivals. Some analysts suggest that the violence is part of a power struggle among the gangs, who are competing for control of the drug market and the prisons. Others point out that the gangs may have external support from Mexican cartels or other criminal organizations who are interested in destabilizing Ecuador and expanding their operations in the region. The situation in Ecuador remains tense and volatile as the government and the security forces try to restore order and security and to capture Fito and the other gang leaders. The president has vowed to continue his fight against crime and corruption and to defend the sovereignty and the dignity of the country. He has also called for the unity and the solidarity of the people and for the support and the cooperation of the international community. However, the challenges and the obstacles are many and complex, and the solutions and the outcomes are uncertain and unpredictable. The violence and the terror have exposed and exacerbated the deep-rooted and long-standing problems and conflicts in Ecuador, such as poverty, inequality, social exclusion, political polarization, institutional weakness, and external interference. These problems and conflicts require not only a security response, but also a political, social, and economic dialogue and reform involving all the actors and sectors of the society. Ecuador is facing a critical and decisive moment in its history, and its future depends on the actions and the decisions that are taken in the present. The country has the potential and the opportunity to overcome the crisis and to achieve peace and development, but it also faces the risk and the threat of falling into more violence and chaos.
For more news like this across the globe, please subscribe to our channel, like and share this video. Thank you.